Okay, so remember the mean value theorem says if I integrate from a to b some particular function, that it's really, remember this is the area under the curve, is really some y value times the width of the rectangle, which would be b minus a. So I'm actually trying to find the x. Before I can get to the x, I'm going to need the y value. So I would like to get this f of c by itself. And of course I can do that by dividing by b minus a. This is my average value theorem. Okay, so I know a and b. So I'm doing 1 over 2 minus 0. And then I'm integrating from 0 to 2. My function, which gives me 3x cubed when I power up and divide by 3, minus 2x squared when I power up and divide by 2. Of course, these are both going to simplify. And so first, I'm going to plug in the 2. So I'll have, 2 cubed minus 2 squared. That is a 2. And then I'll subtract whatever I get when I plug in 0, which will be 0 cubed minus 0 squared. All of that, of course, is going to give me 0. So I have 1/2 of 8 minus 4, which is 2. Now, here's what I have to remember. I really solved for f of c. I solved for the y value. So if I want to find the x value, remember if this is a y value, I can go back to the original equation, and I can substitute in 2 for the y value, and then I'll solve for x. So now I have a quadratic. I'll move 2 to the other side. Hope that it factors. It doesn't, so I'm going to have to use quadratic formula. When I use quadratic formula, I get 1.2 and -5. And of course, I can't keep both of them because it has to be inside of 0 to 2, and that certainly is not. So the only value, the only x value that's going to generate the correct area under the curve if I use his y value is the x value of 1.2. So on this next piece, remember that formula that I was just using? If I want to find the average value, it's really asking me the average y value. And I can do that by integrating and dividing by the width. Remember again, this quantity right here is the width of the rectangle. So I've really just taken that formula and manipulated it. And so now when I start plugging the stuff in, I'll have 1 over 2 minus -2, and then integrating from -2 to +2. Left one always goes on bottom. And then my f of x. So pause the video and see if you can get that by yourself. And so check to make sure that you powered up correctly and that this was your antiderivative. And then this is plugging in 2, and this is plugging in -2. And I'm going to simplify that down, and hopefully you're able to arrive at 8/3. I will have to go to another video.